And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I always do every day during the week. And today is with my partner in crime, Mr. Chris Edwards.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing good. Last night I was out and about in the city and went to support Jamel Shabazz. What's the place? What's the name of this bookstore? Rosili. Hold on a second. Let me get it. It was here we go. Rizzoli bookstore. Famous bookstore.
Okay.
I should know that. I should know that like off the top of my head. And so he was there with several other authors. They did a book signing. It's called the Holiday Fair. And
Okay.
Jamel was there, and Nate Burkett was there, and a bunch of other folks. It was people from all over, different genres, different industries that authored incredible books. And that bookstore is really beautiful. It has an old feel to it. And you know, I was really impressed that the books were reasonably priced. And
Okay.
so I was able to get, where did I put it? Here it is. Jamel's new book. And
Nice.
it's called
Do you
Prospect
have all of
Park.
them?
I
Do you
have
have all his
almost,
books?
I think I have all of them. I think I have all of
Okay.
them. And so he was like, Ron. I was like, yes. I was there to support. He goes, I didn't make a big deal of it. I didn't think anyone's gonna show up to this. And I said, no, I saw you post it briefly, and I put it on my calendar on the 3rd. As soon as I get back home, I will come support.
Nice.
Jamel's always supporting what I do here, supporting what we do
Listen,
here.
that's friends show up for friends.
Yes, yes. And so it was really nice. And this book is really cool because one is obviously he and I grew up using Prospect Park. And so it has all these
Mm,
great photos. You know his style, but these all take place in Prospect Park. Some things are not there any longer. And you know, so it's really a book of love. I think it's a work of love, especially for those of us that love
I
Prospect
love
Park.
full spreads also.
Look at that. That's such a beautiful shot. And so thank you, Jamel Shabazz, for being a support to this program, what we do here. But it was also great to hang out with him, and also I got to hang out with these. Let me just show you some photos from the night, and then we're gonna do some hellos. How about that?
Okay.
And let's see here. Let me get that on the screen. And we again, I met so many other photographers that popped by that did come to support him as well, and that was a lot of fun. And so let me get there. Here we go. So these are photos. There's just a couple of photos from the night, and I'll take them back. Let me take it back to and make sure I get it in the right spot. Now, a lot of these. I didn't do they didn't go. Okay, okay. So just a couple of photos here of some folks, but this is Jamel just interacting with Ty. Oh, let me make sure I got his name right. So I always say it right. Tay, Mr. Tay Goodbody. Okay, here we go. And share. Okay, so this was yesterday. So the book, everyone's in the spot, but this gentleman right here, Tay, well, I will be interviewing him next week on next Wednesday. And so I'm excited about he also came, he showed up, and Jamel was like, Ron, you gotta interview Tay. You gotta interview him. You gotta. And I was supposed to go to Tay's event. He had a event the day I left to leave to go to North Carolina. And it was packed. He was expecting 200 people to this event. He ended up having 400 people there, and in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, on the edge near Bushwick. So it was like, wow. I mean, it's not like that's the most popular place to be. So there you have it. But and then this was, I think this was one more shot in here. Oh yeah, this is one more shot with the two of them, and I got some other photos that I'm gonna edit them and then send them over to Jamel of him with interacting with other folks. But Tay's going to be our guest on the next week, and now we're changing the format of our interviewing since we do have our time here together, touch base daily every day, 11 o'clock, 12:15, pretty much. And we used to have Wisdom Wednesdays, and we used to have interviews on Wisdom Wednesdays. But I decided, and with conversations with a lot of law photographers that I want to have on, they have so many their schedules are all over the place. So trying to lock them down to a live here in the morning is quite difficult. So what I've decided, and I've talked to them about it and talked to some folks, is to just simply work with their schedules. So when they're free, that's when we'll have an interview. Now, does that mean everyone will be here to support and be live with us? No. But what it will also do is open up this channel to other people, and they will get to see us in different time slots all over. I mean, some of them won't be consistent, but we'll try to keep it as consistent as possible, but at least while everyone's awake. So Tay will be on next week at 2 o'clock. So we'll have our time here, Touch Base Daily. I'll go grab something to eat. And at 2 o'clock, he and I will be on live. And man, this is a 22-year-old with Jamel calls him a genius. And I agree. He took us through his self-published book and the
At
work
22.
at 22 years old. And this wasn't just some like happy little family pictures put together. He put together substantial, high quality work. And it was just absolutely beautiful. And so he'll be able to tell his story, and his story's fascinating. He's 22 years old, and he's been to 22 countries around the world.
Oh, wow.
His story is incredible. So he'll be with us next week on Touch Base Daily, but at 2 o'clock. So, and then we have another interview coming up next week as well, but this will be during our Touch Base Daily show. And that is a young lady that is works with Lightroom, and so she's going to give us some Lightroom tips. And she works for Adobe, and she'll be here to support. And I'll get all that information to you soon as well. But she'll be on next week. And anyway, that's it. So Chris, while you tell people about what you're up to, I'm gonna get her name. So
Okay.
Because I always pronounce names wrong.
That's all right. I'm worse with names. I'm probably worse off than you. So what are we working on currently? So we just recorded a special episode of the recap show last night. That's going to come out tomorrow. For those that watch us for Drag Race, season 18 is going to start on January 2nd, and they had the Reveal the Queens on Tuesday on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So we give our take on who we think is going to go home first, and who we think is going to maybe potentially win or in our top 3. So tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. That video is going to drop over on the official conference call on my channel and on TJ's channel on YouTube. And then, of course, we've got Safe Space that's back on Indie Soup Network. We've got an interview tomorrow with Wilbur Pack Jr. He's a designer, and he's designed for women's wear, and now he's doing backpacks. But those backpacks are not just regular backpacks. So you got to tune in to see what we talk about tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on Indie Soup Network.
How did you find him? I mean, how did you end up connecting with him?
So We've actually been following each other on Instagram for quite a few years, and then also Rex and him are friends as well, and that's how we kind of got into it. And then I was like, I think that he'd be a fascinating person to interview. So I reached out to him. I believe it was like over late summer, and we tried to work our schedules together to get this interview done. And we did it, I believe, in September. I believe it was in September when we did it. Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to people seeing that interview tomorrow. And then also, if you missed last week's, we had a gentleman named Olusegun, who goes affectionately known by O. He's an ally, and it was a great interview. So if you hadn't seen that, go back and watch last week's episode as well.
Nice. So it will be Lavone Hall. I always forget her last name. I didn't want to just say her name without saying her last name because she is a professional. So Lavone Hall, and she's also a major supporter here at Touch Base Daily. She's one of the ones that's we do, we're here on this shows every day. And if I go through our section of comments, even if she sees them late, she goes through our program, she goes through the show, and then she leaves a comment almost on every one of our shows. And so she's a real devoted person to what we do here. And again, she's an incredible person. We went out to lunch during the summer, and she works for Adobe, and we're working on some projects together. And so she'll be here next week live on our Touch Base Daily during the Touch Base Daily Hour on Wednesday. So we got a lot coming up. A lot is gonna start picking up because a lot of my life is now orchestrated. It's settled. The dust is settling. I can now get to these interviews, and I'm so excited that we'll be doing these interviews in different time slots and just seeing how they generate and who's watching. And I think it'll be great for our channel. So let's say hello. Let's say good morning to some folks. First person in the building with the gold is Aya. She says, happy super moon, grand rising, God morning, or maybe she mean God morning, Ron, or good morning, Ron. Chris,
either way is good.
Everyone, Touch Base Daily. And the silver goes to the wonderful pillar and friend is GR Houston. Chat.
And the work wife. Don't forget work wife.
She says, good morning. Good morning. And look who gets the bronze this morning. Oh, the pillars are in the building today. Jazzy says, good morning, beautiful people. And then we have Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, good morning. Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. Dr. Tachi says, good day, all. Omar's in the building on his smartphone. See, I can tell I can see where you're from on the screen now. Omar says, good morning, all. Omar, I need to figure out how I can get to Texas before I get to Namibia. We got to figure this out. Let's brainstorm. And
you just an airplane ride away.
I gotta get all my close friends so I can see them and then go. I don't want to go without seeing my closest friends. And she said, Dr. Tice says, new format. Yeah. So we're going to be working on that. That's going to be really interesting to see how, life is about discovery. And the great thing about being in these cyber streets is that you can do whatever you want and then just see how it works. Yeah. And what great works for your community. And Kimmy sends up, and then Dr. Tachi says, that actually works quite well. I know for me, not everybody is able to come on as a guest when the show is live. So I do it when they are available. Yep. So I'm following your footprints, Dr. Tachi. And I see, hey there. I see all the good connection. Let's say hello to everyone else. Hey, Photo Ken is in the building. He says, good morning, everyone. What's up, Photo Ken? And Photo Ken is also due for, I get him on to do an interview as well. And let's see here. And I think we got everybody in. Hey, there he is, There's Mr. Jamel Shabazz is in the building. He says, grand rising all. We were talking about you, sir.
Yes.
The book. So,
you got it right.
I got it right. Okay, so Jamel Shabazz is in the building, and Dr. Tati says, Jamel, hey there. Okay, so what else is happening? Well, today it is definitely our Trend Watch. There's a lot of things in the news that we should be really concerned about. And one is obviously I call him the Death Czar because all he does is put us back hundreds of years, decades of medical science, and Mr. Kennedy, and I'm being nice by saying Mr. Kennedy, just came out with now they want to get rid of the hepatitis vaccination for newborns, which has saved thousands and thousands and thousands of lives from children having hepatitis when they're born. So every child after, I think, 1992 or 91, I think it was 92 or 91, has been vaccinated with the hepatitis vaccine. And that has reduced the deaths. It used to be something like several thousand to just 20 a year average. Now he wants to get rid of that. And now it's going to cause I'm telling you, they just the plan is simply to unalive people. That's my perspective, and they're going. There's a if someone knows it out there, there's a term used when people unalive their populations in slow motion. There's a term for it. I forgot the term. Someone mentioned it to me a couple of months ago. And when you think about measles was eradicated, no measles. And now we are dealing with people with measles. Whooping cough was gone. There was, whooping. I think it's whooping cough. I think it's whooping cough or whooping cough.
Whooping.
And that was eradicated. All of these diseases that were gone, or if they were here, it was because they came in through someone maybe visiting from another country, or someone got basically traveled overseas and they got it and came to America, came back home from a trip or vacation.
Okay, so Ron, I mean,
yeah,
I didn't think that this was a term that was used, but it is technically called genocide.
It is still part of the genocide, but there's a particular. I know
that they say it's referred to as that's called slow death genocide.
Slow death genocide.
Yeah.
I know. I read this and I was like, I was like a couple of months ago, and I said, "Is that?" I said, "There are truly." I believe this is just my personal belief. Allegedly, I believe that these people are out to slowly get rid of the populations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Like, there's just no words. Like, I feel like we're just talking in circles, especially as Gwendolyn would say, we're just talking into the echo chamber, because everyone in this room knows what they're doing. It's obvious. We can see it. They're screaming the quiet things out loud. They're not hiding in the shadows anymore. Like, it's just obvious. It's obliviously obvious what they're doing. I mean, the man can't even string two words together to make a full sentence and then actually us coherently understand what he's saying. And then you've got the other man that can barely even stay awake in his own meetings. And all he's just doing is destroying everything in his path. He's like a toddler behind a SUV who can't see over the steering wheel and driving at 100 miles an hour and just staring and hitting everything in his path and destroying everything. That's literally what's happening. And you have people that are co-signing on all this stuff. Now, quote unquote, they're starting to see the errors of their ways and, want to put some type of brakes on this mad truck that's driving down the street and hitting everything. And it's like, kind of too late. This truck has to go over the cliff and explode for us to be able to start over. I mean,
Well,
that's where I am with it, at least.
again, until the pain is so great, it's just not going to happen. No change going to happen. Kimmy says, since the vaccines are available, will people still be able to get it if they choose to pay for it out of pocket? And that is the key. They said people will be able to pay for the vaccine if they want it. However, but the people that it will affect are obviously people that do not have money, people that don't have the means, people that can't afford to pay for the vaccine. And it's again eliminating. It's
Well,
going to
that
cost the lives of
it's
poor people or
it's
people that are not
it's all intentional. That is
financially
intentional. We all know
ready.
that's what it is. They want to get rid of immigrants. They want to unnaturalize naturalized citizens. They want to deport people to countries where they have no connection to. They want to poison our food, our water, pollute the air. I mean, they're undoing decades of progress that we've had in this country and in this world. And they don't care because guess what? They are benefiting from it financially.
I don't
The
see the long game.
Uber,
The long
mhm,
game is
yeah,
what happens when you don't have people? I mean, what do rich people do when there are no people left? They're going to have to
do it
work.
themselves.
They're going to have to do it themselves.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not going to happen.
the biggest concern in New York City, I think this was about maybe 15 years ago. It was being tossed around about in New York political circles of the cities becoming so expensive that the middle class, the people that support the activities of the city, the transit workers, the doctors, the nurses, well, not doctors, but the nurses, the people that are the middle income society, if you keep squeezing them and they leave your city becomes non-functional. It becomes, you decapitate the very thing that keeps your city running. So if your rates and rents and everything are going up and people can't afford to live in your city, you're going to have a brain drain. You're going to lose quality workers
We
inside. Yeah.
already have that though.
And then
We
what
already have a
happens
brain
is,
drain.
right,
You're denying people school visas to come here to be educated. And here's the thing: when you do that, you incentivize those people that are coming here to go to school here, to stay here, and then to also to benefit us as a whole, as a country. That brain drain is real. Moving people out of the major metropolises or the cities on the coast is a drain. And here's the thing: the revenue that's generated by a lot of these coastal states supply and feed those central states. And when that goes away, how does everyone live? I don't. Here's the thing: they think they're smart, but they're not smarter than the next person, and they can't think 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. They're
yeah,
only thinking in the present and the now. What
yeah.
happens when all those people that are in the upper echelon die off and go away? What happens then? I mean, these people are not smart. They're the most unsmart people, as they would like to say. They like to say, "Oh, we're the smartest and we have the greatest people." No, you don't. You have the worst.
Yeah. I mean, just because you have money doesn't mean you're smart. A lot of people get money because of they're lucky, they inherited it, someone, gave them money, or, once in a blue moon, you get someone that's really intelligent that made money.
Can I say something? I'm gonna put Dr. Tachi's comment up because I think this was really a good one. She says we see the people who are allowed this to happen, and they will never be forgiven. I think we have to keep these people in our consciousness. We cannot allow what is going on now to be forgotten after this is all said and done, because there's going to come a point when this will all be settled and this country will move on. But I think one of the problems that we have as a country is that we tend to forget, and especially when we're so far removed from something, and just live our lives and like, oh yeah, that happened in the past and that didn't happen to me. Oh, slavery didn't happen to me, so it didn't really happen. Or yeah, it happened, but that was so long ago. Oh yeah, 9/11 happened, but I wasn't born yet, so it really didn't happen. Yes, I see it and I see the memorials, but it didn't affect me. Just because it does not affect you does not mean it does not impact you in how you live your life today. Okay,
Yeah,
you know, I'll be dead and gone. I've got nieces and nephews that will live past me, and I want them to remember these times, even though they probably don't understand what's going on now. This is affecting them now and their lives to come in the future. I think that all of us, as grown ass adults, need to sit down with our youth, be it family members or family friends that are younger than you, to let them to tell them, to teach them what's going on, so they have an understanding, so that as they move forward through life, they understand, can look back and say, all right, you know what, I know this happened. These are the things that we had to do to prevent this from happening again.
I
Um,
agree.
Rachel Maddow has a great podcast out right now. It's called Burn Book.
Oh,
It just
can't
came
wait to
out
hear it.
on. It just
Today,
came
right?
out. No, it just came out on Monday. It's a podcast. It's, I believe, 6 episodes, and basically what this is talking about is the Chinese internment camps and how the government did not want people to remember that this happened. There was this one woman who, she was a big historian, and she always went to the Library of Congress and was constantly just looking up different things. And she found this memo, this document that was never to be seen by another human being. These documents were told that all the documents related to that time and period were to be burned for whatever reason. This one document didn't, and it came out. And then this series just kind of documents how the Chinese internment camps happened, and how the shame of America and how they dealt with it. What we're doing, what this government is doing now, has happened before, people. This is not the first time that our government has taken people off the streets, put them away, deported them, or unaliving people without unconstitutionally, because what's going on in the Caribbean Sea is unconstitutional. That's why you've got admirals and people in the armed services retiring and leaving because they refuse to follow these commands. All right. All this stuff has happened before. So it's incumbent upon us to learn history, to listen to people when they're trying to show us these things that have happened before, so that we cannot continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again.
And this is the podcast you
Yes.
were mentioning about.
Yeah.
And I when I saw it, I think I saw the advertisement last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to see this.
The
For
first two
those who don't,
episodes are out.
and Rachel Maddow, say what you want about her. People, some people agree with her and disagree with her. I love her. I think she's one of the best journalists out there.
A
Um,
journalist, a true journalist.
yeah, and she does such a great job. The last one she did was incredible. Her podcast, when it came to the Nazis, and also we were here before as a country, and
Yeah.
seeing the similarities. So this Burn Order, I can't wait to hear the podcast.
Yeah, the first two episodes dropped this past Monday, and then over the next 4 weeks, every Monday a new episode will drop. So you can get it on any podcasting platform that you choose to that you familiar with.
So all you history geeks like myself, did I put down Focus Friday? What the banners? They take it off there. For all you geeks out there like myself, history geeks, this should be really good, and so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Chris. That was good to mention that. And so also, we did mention that we're going to do for tomorrow is, if you have a business, your small business, you are a small business owner, you are a hobbyist that makes money off your hobby, you have a craft that you are trying to get out into the world and sell your merchandise. If you're on this platform, and just make sure that you can send that. I'm going to give you where you can send this, because we do have this ability to do it. And that is, you can put the information into our YouTube community. Okay. So put your information of your business It's a little tricky when you put your website, kind of like break it up. Don't put www. Just kind of like put a W and then put your website. It might get through, but don't use www.com. Don't use your www and don't use your .com. Just do a w dot your
Or
thing
just
and
or
dot
just
c.
say, Ron, just say website and then put the website name.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so website and then the name. So do
And
it that
also,
way and put it in the community.
yeah, just as a slight correction, thank you, Elise. It was Chinese and Japanese that they had in internment camps.
Yes,
Just for clarification.
Chinese and
Thanks.
Japanese.
Yeah.
So the YouTube community, our Touch Base Daily YouTube community, Ron Lewis Photos community, is you when you're right there, when you're in our page on YouTube, you can easily go straight to this. Okay, so make sure you're a part of it. But make sure you put that information, and then tomorrow we're going to try to highlight all of the businesses that are there. We're just going to share. It's our Focus Friday. So we're focusing on the businesses that are in our community. So we can share that tomorrow. And that way, if it's shown on the screen here, then that means eyeballs are on it. So go to our YouTube community, put your information there, and then that way we can share it tomorrow on our Focus Friday. Does that make sense? Is that clear to everyone? And let's see who's out there. What else is being said? Oh, okay, here we go. Jazzy said that's clear and what is happening in this very moment. Let me get this off the screen. My bad. Sorry. And Jazzy says that's clear and what is happening in this very moment. The lack of wanting to learn is part of the problem. Those that do not learn their history are doomed to repeat the ills of it. So, yes, we should know our history. Who else is out there? Let's see what else is being. Jazzy says the scary part about what is happening right now is that young people aren't open to wanting to understand the past. And Dr. Taji says, will do. Exactly, Jazzy says, Elise. And Kimmy Kim says, this community is evolving. We're getting better. You guys make us better. We are a community. That's how we become better. It's definitely not Ron. It's definitely not Chris. It's not Ron, but it was Ron and Chris and Elise and Gwendolyn and Dr. Tachi and Jazzy
it's
and Kimmy
everyone
and
that contributes.
Yeah, you guys contribute. Some of you contribute financially. Some of you contribute and share your ideas, your thoughts. You give input. You share in the comment boxes.
Yeah,
that's how you build a strong community. Is having people interacting and engaging. We learn from each other. We support one another. And so, thank you, Kimmy. For Kimmy Kim says this community is evolving. That's a good sign. And again, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the like, and make sure you subscribe.
and also share the page. Share it with someone you think that might be interested in it.
Yeah, share what we do here. That's what we do. So again, make sure you do that so that we can get your business out into the world. Number 3, what's the other subject? The other thing I would like to do is, even though I'm interviewing other photographers and artists and creatives, I would like to extend an invitation to the people in this community. Since we're talking about community, we're on this point. If you feel like, Ron, I have something to share. Chris, I have something to share. I want to come on and I would love to be interviewed. I would love to tell my story of what my successes are, or I would like to tell my stories of how I overcame something, or I would love to tell my story of, what brought me to the place I am in my life right now, and the victories and how I was able to deal with that problem, solve that problem, and now I'm helping others. If you are that person, do it.
There's so many interesting people in this room. We are privileged to be able to interact with everyone that comes into the room, and then like just to see all the comments and the interaction. Because here's the thing: a lot of times they're not even interacting with us necessarily; they're just interacting with one another. And I think
Yeah,
it's such a safe space where people can come in and just find community and talk and have conversations on like-minded subjects, or even on other things that they find that just happen to be in the feed.
I agree. I agree. That's why I love. I tell people all the time. They're like, Ron, you do this every day. Doesn't aren't you worn out? Aren't you tired? I said, no, I get excited. I truly gain energy from this population. Our community energizes me. Anyway, Ali says people pick Apple pick what is deemed what was important and relevant. True. Um, Dr. Tachi was talking in regards to earlier with from Elise. Exactly, they're just as guilty as the ones committing the direct acts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winners Win says, I enjoy watching Rachel Maddow. She is, I mean, she's a gem. She is, I love her work.
Let me tell you something. Rachel Maddow to me is a throwback to old journalists. You know, Cronkite, Peter
Cronkite, yes.
Jennings, a lot of where they
Bill
do their like
Beutel,
so
ABC.
yeah. So here's the thing: we give them all the credit, but just know that they acknowledge that they have a team that they work with. They don't do this by themselves. They have a
No.
great, especially her. She has a great research team that works with her and producers to gather all this information. She is just a conduit that puts it out there. She does a lot of the research herself, but she has a great team behind her. And what I've always appreciated about her is that she's a historian. She goes back deep to pull the relevance of what's going on today to say, hey, look, you know, we might feel some type of way about how we're living and what's going on in the world today, but just know that you're not alone because this has happened before. This is not a unique situation that we're living through. It's just that we've never actually lived through it ourselves.
This is
Um,
true.
we have been here before. Everything that is going on right now, there has been precedence of this happening before. I think the one unique thing about what the time that we're living now is that a lot of the things that happened in the past happened at different times and eras and decades, but right now it's all happening at once. And I
Once.
think what's highlighting it is the fact that we live in a world, a digital world, where we have access to everything that's happening instantaneously. Whereas before, it took a while for people to get information via newspaper, via horse and buggy, via ship. Now we have it literally in the palm of our hands.
Yeah.
In the palm of our hand. When something goes down, we can be notified instantaneously.
Instantly. And again, it's not just happening here in America, it's happening around the world. Democracies are under strain, but
Mhm.
also these democracies were built on colonization and exploitation of people. And so those things have an expiration date. You cannot continue to exploit people. You cannot continue to build on colonization mindsets and methods that it just doesn't work in a global society where people are enlightened and people are becoming enlightened every day. I mean, look at there was a trending yesterday. I think it was someone that works in the United Nations, I do believe, and they asked her, and they had a big event that happened in Europe, and they asked her, what is your biggest fear? And she says, the collapse of Europe. And because they're noticing again, as Africa, and this is why Africa has been, the colonizers have been so, what's the word? Full energy, full throttle to keep the boot on the neck of Africans because it was to their stability of their European countries. And now that Africa is now flexing its muscles, there's a big worry that places like France, their economies are so linked to colonization of Africa, and now Africans are saying nope. For the first time, I do believe came out yesterday. You can verify this, and the African GDP of the continent reached $1 trillion for the first time. People are now investing in Africa, and the African countries and leaders, the young leaders, are saying, we will not hold to colonization. Like Molly just said, we will no longer teach French history. It'll be part, but it is not what we're going to be teaching our students. We're teaching them African history, and we will include other histories. But for many, many years, these colonized countries in Africa, especially the French ones, they had to teach French history. And it's changing. The world is changing. And there's no way colonization concepts are going to survive the future.
Yeah.
And America is also this is why I'm not saying all white people, but we already know, we've heard many conversations. We heard all the videos. We know there's a huge fear among the white population on the planet that we, the people of color, will do what they did to us. And that's not how the rest of the world works.
That's all this is about. That's what this is all about.
They must maintain power because their fear is that we will do to them what they did to us in some of these these communities out there. Think about the meme that goes around. I've been seeing pop up on my feed about the KKK. The KKK has been around for 140 years, and not once has it been declared a terrorist organization.
That part.
The colonizers will always continue to embrace their woes, their idiosyncrasies, their evils. I was looking at this. There's a series on Amazon called 1883 or 1863 or something like that. 1883 or 1860. I think it's 1883 because it's after slavery. And you see how these people lived in the 1800s and the colonizers and taking the land and the land grabs and all that other stuff. But then it goes into a new season, and it's called 1923, I think it is. These are both on Amazon or Paramount. And when you see there's a clip of these Catholic or religious institutions that are beating the Native Americans into their belief system and supposed to be godliness, and they are torturing them. And we realize remember in Canada that the news came out several years ago about how many children died at the hands of these people in the name of religion, to convert, to civilize people. It's not going to work because it doesn't work any longer. That first of all, was evil when they were doing it. You cannot hold to these old concepts and think those old concepts work in the modern age. First of all, we are educated people. This is not the day of, don't give black people, don't give the Africans a book. You can't teach them how to read.
Well, they still believe that.
There's a lot of us that are educated, that read, that know history. Anyway, I see some you guys have really been sharing in here. Ali says they were teaching whitewash French history. Exactly, that's what's happening in Africa, around the world. Ali says that's their biggest fear.
An African country just said that they weren't going to teach French anymore. I forget which one it was. I just saw that.
Mali.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was Mali yesterday. I announced it yesterday in Mali. Yeah. And most of the French countries are most of the colonized from the French of Africa, they are all pulling away from France. And France economy their GDP is connected on every level to Africa. Without Africa, it is said that the French economy will be destroyed. They need to renegotiate. They need to negotiate all treaties. They have to negotiate because now these are educated leaders that refuse to play the games of the colonizers. Elise says also, I talked about that all the time. They haven't labeled them a terrorist group because so many of them are part of the KKK.
Yeah.
Classic is in the building. She says, blessed, thankful Thursday, all listening in.
Welcome.
Welcome, Classic. That's our Kaz. And she says, excuse name, my account device keeps stopping. Elise says also, there are some educated among us who are a part of the problem. Now, that's the truth. So anyway, just wanted to share that. That's some information that's been trending out there. Definitely keep your eyes on. I always say keep your eyes on Africa. Africa. Whew, I am loving reading what I'm reading. I'm loving to see the leaders standing up. I'm loving the leaders saying we can make. They have inventions. Like there was an inventor of these young people. They create. I think it was in Nigeria. Was it Nigeria? Obviously you can see I do a lot of reading about Africa, and they discovered a tool that will be able to clean the oceans of the world, and it looks like it will work really good.
That was that happened recently, right?
Yeah, that was recent.
Yeah.
That was like this week.
I heard about that.
And can I encourage you? Like I always say, I always try to encourage our community. Don't just don't look at the news here in America. I mean, obviously we kind of keep abreast of what's happening locally, but use other resources like the BBC, Al Jazeera. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of great news networks, global news networks, for you to see what's going on. And I always am prone to news networks like the Associated Press that literally specifically have a African division. Like even CNN, I mean, not CNN America, but CNN World.
Yeah.
They're two different things.
It is two different things.
CNN World will give you coverage of things that are happening. Here's something that's happening, but you probably don't know about. And maybe, Chrissy, if you can find the footage, or maybe there's something on YouTube on it. Sorry, on Google. People are getting ready in America for a war in Venezuela. America is doing a buildup in the Caribbean. We are sending aircraft carriers. We have. It is allegedly that this Navy SEALs are already in Venezuela, and all sorts of little activity. There's reasons why people believe that this war that they want to have is because it's going to serve two purposes. One, they want to destabilize the Venezuelan government, not because they care about drugs. That's a cloak. They could care less about drugs. They could care less about drugs in our inner cities. They could care less about the drugs in the suburbs. That is just a cloak. That also, if you look it up, I'm sorry, I should get to you first, Chris, in the beginning.
Don't fine. Put something in our private chat.
The buildup is not just America in Venezuela, but the Chinese have also sent aircraft carriers to Venezuela to support Venezuela. This is a bigger thing than you are seeing, but you will never hear any of this on our American news.
Nope.
This is a buildup. It is also not only China is building up in Venezuela, it is also the Russians are supposedly building up in Venezuela.
Yeah.
This is not some drug deal situation going on. We're trying to prevent it. First of all, those little boats cannot make it to America with drugs that are going to impact the country in the way it
can we talk about that just a little bit? So first off, those little boats don't have motors that can get them anywhere. They're local fishermen. All right. And on top of it, someone in the armed services, a retired, that was talking on one of the podcasts I listened to. They were saying how if you're trying to smuggle thousands of pounds of drugs in a boat, why would you pile 11 people in that boat, in that small little boat, when you can pack more drugs in the boat versus the people? Second of all, I think everyone's heard of it and knows that what's going on now are considered war crimes, even though technically we are not at war. So technically there's murders. They blew up these boats. And then they had, back in September, there were 2 survivors that were clinging on to wreckage in the sea. And they went back and they fired on them again and murdered them, unalived them, in the water. And
Chris,
then
this is a good article. Sorry, I'm going through
the
link.
And then on top of it, the Orange Man just went and pardoned and released that
the worst drug dealer.
Yes,
drug
ever. Yes. Yes. So this is not about drugs and not allowing drugs in this country, because now you've just released the person who was bringing the drugs into the country. So make that make sense. This is all a ruse. Okay.
Now, look, I want you, Chris, this is so good. Where did you, Council Foreign Relations. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to share this. Are you guys seeing it?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me get that on the screen. Let me stop sharing that one and get this on the screen. Because also, do y'all know what is do you guys know what's in Venezuela that these powers want? I want you to put on your thinking caps. I want you to put on your thinking caps. What is in Venezuela that these people, these billionaires, these aristocrats, these oligarchs, these leaders of these countries want, that's in Venezuela? Okay, thinking caps. Do we got anyone in here? Venezuela has minerals and resources that they want to get their hands on. Lithium, says Elise. Okay, there's some more. I want you. There's one big. Ding, ding, ding. Oil.
Oil's been always.
Venezuela has the largest. What do they call it? Largest body of oil. Oh, they call it. I forgot. It's a term used where you have oil in your land. Reserve. Oil reserves in their land, in their on the ground, than any place on earth in this moment in time. Oil reserves. That's right. Oil reserves. They have the largest oil reserve, bigger than the Middle East.
Actually, so Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world.
Yes. And
it is the backbone. It's the backbone of this economy.
Yes.
And it says oil production has significantly declined in recent years due to issues like poor economic management, under investment and infrastructure neglect. So they're sitting on a treasure trove of oil,
Treasure
and
trove.
that's what the world wants. Many world wars have been fought over oil.
Oil. Yes, I see. I saw those oils. I saw the oils. I see the oils, Dr. Dodge. I see them. So now I want you to look at this. This is from the Council Foreign Relations website, and it takes you through. It's called Mapping the U.S. Military Buildup Near Venezuela. And when you look at this, I mean, we won't. I'll put the link inside our, the description, and it goes into what's happening, the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean. I mean, look at all of this. Look at all of this. Amphibious machine cruisers, amphibious assault ships, former naval bases, all the stuff that's happening in the Caribbean. Look at all of this.
And if you think about it, hold on, if you think about it, the Orange Man kind of projected from the very beginning that, he's about oil, rolling back all of the Biden era clean air and acts and all the initiatives when it comes to solar and anything to do with a cleaner environment. He's always said oil, because they attribute oil to power and wealth. And here they are targeting the most oil-rich country in the world and saying they have a drug problem.
So this is the reasons that you can't possibly think these people care about drugs. Especially, again, like we said, they let go the worst drug, person. He was the worst. There was no one worse than this guy, and they pardoned him. Does that seem like someone that cares about people and the drug problem in America? And first of all, the problem with drugs in America is not Venezuela. It's the people that live in America that buy the drugs.
That part.
It's the Americans that are the problem.
They wouldn't be trying to get it in here if there wasn't a market for it.
There you go. No one goes where there's no market.
Supply and demand.
Dr. Tali said, the thing is, these wretched people are so emboldened that they don't even bother to come up with plausible excuses to cover their impending theft. Drug boats, really? It doesn't add up. The math does not math.
Yeah.
Elise says he just talked rolling back car regulation. He just did it. He just signed it yesterday. The regulations for cars signed yesterday.
More executive orders that do absolutely nothing.
It's never been about drugs. And there's a big buildup in Venezuela. Follow the money, follow what's going on over there, because not only are they after the oil, there's a two legs to this Venezuela crisis that is unfolding.
Yep.
The Orange Man thinks if America is at war, then that will be the ability to stop the elections in America.
Yep.
The country is at war and you can suspend.
He's asked that question before. I think he even asked the question before he was reelected.
He asked the question when Zelensky was in the office. He said, you're at war, so you could be president for as long as you want. That conversation. One thing about Trump, the orange cankles,
menace,
taco tits, he is very transparent because he doesn't have the ability to cloak what's going on in his mind, because he has no control. He cannot control. He is like a child. They cannot control their impulses. So he already mentioned just early this year when he talked to Zelensky in that debacle of a press conference, and he looked over to him and said, "Oh, you're president still because you're at war."
Yep.
You can see the thing spinning in his head. Oh yes, we got to start a war. Oh.
What?
Elise. This is why I love this. This is why I love this community. Don't forget that Nigeria has oil, and what are they trying to do with Nigeria? They're trying to pick it again. These people are going after the resources. Now think about this. They're cloaking it in Nigeria. We are going to protect the Christians. Christians are being attacked in Nigeria in masses. And they're using the Nigeria Christian, because this will appeal to their Christian, white Christian base in America mindset. Oh, we must defend Christianity everywhere. And so they keep putting out there that they're going to protect the Christians that are being attacked in Nigeria. It's not happening no more than any other place in the world. Christians get attacked all the time. But hello, Muslims get attacked also too.
Yep.
Muslims get attacked. Non-believers get attacked. Christians get attacked. People from different persuasions get attacked, and you don't see them supporting anybody else. But Nigeria also has, I do believe, the second. I want to say the second. Someone looked that stat up. But I do believe Nigeria has the second largest oil bed in the world as well. So it's Venezuela, Nigeria. Yes. I remember when I used to go to Nigeria. And the oil guys were in Nigeria and we had this conversation, destroying. And the older people of Nigeria, I used to sit down with the elders. So they said the oil was a curse to our country.
So Nigeria estimated approximately 37.5 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves as of 2025. This makes it the largest holder of oil reserves in Africa and ranks it amongst the top countries globally. So yeah,
it's the top. These people are going after the oil. Think about it. Do you really think the Trump administration cares about Black Nigerians, African Nigerians, Christians, Nigerians? Do you really think so? And yes, Ali says, and we can't forget the Black Christians who support this, because that's what exactly. And Dr. Tachi says, remember that his base is so daft that they will fall for anything, even if it doesn't add up for normal thinking human beings. They have no critical thinking skills, so it makes sense to them. And he threatened to send military into Nigeria. Yep. And Dr. Tachi says, look up Ken Saro Wawa and what Shell did to the Agani people. Yeah, so that's what's trending. I don't know if you know it was trending, but it's trending around the globe. And it's also so bad, this whole Venezuela thing, is that other countries have now decided, and then we're going to close on this. Other countries have decided to stop sharing intelligence with America. We are I told y'all, I mentioned this when we talked about this a long time ago. We are in danger.
Yep.
They do not give America intelligence any longer. We need intelligence from other countries. We need our allies. You cannot navigate the world without your allies. So there you have it, y'all.
As you know, as Whoopi Goldberg said in Ghost, "You in danger, girl. We in danger."
But what do? We prepare for the worst. We hope for the best. And like we've been taught, hope is not a plan. So have a plan. Have a plan. When everything is going to whenever the sugar honey iced tea is hitting the fan, or Chris interpret.
When the shit is hitting the fan,
you will know what's going on, because think about it. You don't see none. This is not in mainstream. This should be on the news every day. And not once do you see it on ABC, NBC.
But this is why it's important to watch unadulterated news, like from BBC and, like you said, Al Jazeera, because they give you an unfiltered look of what's happening in America. You don't get that here. There's those rare glimpses in the corner, like a Rachel Maddow, and some other people that are real journalists that are doing the jobs to put it out there, but they're not, quote unquote, like that real mainstream that's on national TV broadcasting 5 days a week like they used to. You know what I mean? Like, those days are so far behind us now. It's not even funny.
And like it says, again, that's why we have community. We need a community plan. One thing I don't have a yard. Well, maybe I can get Adrian to dig up his yard. But I'm telling you, start taking time to, if you can, even in apartments, because you can do a farming in your apartment. You can put lights in your apartment, grow your herbs, grow your spices, grow the things you need. We have to start thinking that way, and start also, like we were talking yesterday, bartering. So someone over there is growing all the mint. Someone on this side is growing all of the rose. She said yesterday, the rosemary. So you have the rosemary here, you got the other thing here, you barter, we switch, we get, that's how we're going to survive. Yes. Janice says, mainstream's too busy selling junk.
That part.
I see here. The St. James Show says, I need to create a garden. If you can create a garden, you should be starting that mindset. Go on to YouTube. There's a way you can learn from YouTube, the great university in cyberspace. Learn how to create a garden. Yes. So
yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to give it a couple of just banners here. We already did the other one again. Let me just get this off the screen for the comment. Thank you, St. James Show. That was really cool to hear from you. Make sure, again, if you have a business or you are a hobbyist and you sell merchandise and you sell products, make sure you put it into the YouTube community. Go to Ron Lewis Photos and put it in our community so we can share your work, share what you do, talk about your product so that people can see it. Because we're going to talk about them tomorrow on our Focus Friday. So if it's not in there, we won't get a chance to talk about it. So tomorrow's our Focus Friday, dedicated to our community. What you do, how you do it, sharing what you do. Also, I'm an event photographer. If you're looking for an event photographer, give me a call. Reach out to me. I do that. And also, again, thank you to our Patreon members. And I'm going to put the Patreon QR code up there, so that way you'll have it. There we go. Patreon QR code is right there. If you want to become a Patreon member, just scan the QR code and become a Patreon member and support what we do here. $3 a month, $5 a month, $25 a month. We have them all. Support what we do here, because that's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps these StreamYard bills paid. Okay, so we got that. And I'm going to keep the Patreon on the screen. And last but not least, if you're here, make sure you join, hit the likes, hit subscribe, be a part of the community, and come to the community saying, I want to be involved. Okay? So there you have it. Chris, any last words? We don't hear you, but
I was muted. Sorry. No, I was just going to say to go out and have a great day. We're on the eve of Friday before the weekend, and live life. Live life.
Live life. Enjoy, guys. Have a wonderful Thursday. We will see you tomorrow. Again, make sure you put your company, your brand, your website, whatever it is that we want, or blog that we can support you. Okay, do that. Okay, love you and see ya tomorrow. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.